Okay, I had to do a double take on this video because the last one had me mostly swearing out of just sheer ultimate rage and anger at the horrible, horrible ground squirrels and the wonderful rabbits, the cute little guys that just hop around and eat all of my food. Yeah, they definitely made me swear up a storm earlier. But this stuff right here is getting eaten by little rice gnats or by something. I mean, look at that. That's sad. I'm sorry, rice. I will protect you better. Well, I gotta figure out different ways. Maybe I could probably talk to some people who are actually like rice farmers from other countries that have to deal with like a lot of bugs and a lot of nasties that get into their fields. The thing that really drove me up a wall today was this one right here. Look at that. Look at my beautiful, beautiful rice. Look at what they did to my boy. Look at what these ground squirrels did to my boy. I'm so upset. I swear vengeance on this rice. Other things that happened in my field, though, that kind of gave me a bit of a shock is that the companion planting idea of putting one rice plant with two corns actually kind of worked. Weird. Yeah, I don't get that. It actually decided to pop off, and now it's starting to kind of bolt. I might do like a sacrificial corn with some rice or like a sacrificial millet with some rice in my next batch. I'm not so sure. Over in my millet garden, the ground squirrels had been getting to this quite extensively. They've ripped out quite a few of my millet plants as of recently. As you can see from the one like right over there. And that's a millet that was right next to the hole. I just decided to plug the hole with whatever I could find. Anytime I find like a ground squirrel hole, I just plug it. Is it the most ideal way of doing this? Probably no. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. It's probably not. I gave this whole patch, like I just filled up one of the Lowe's buckets, like maybe a third of the way and just dumped it this evening. And it's like the first time I watered it in a week. That still holds on. I mean, this stuff is great. It's pretty dang tough. I don't get it. I don't get why it doesn't need a lot of watering, but it does not need a lot of watering. It's actually doing successfully out here. Sure, I got some Napa Star growing in it, as well as like whatever heck this poofy plant is. I don't know. It's very soft whenever you feel it. It's like kind of like a fuzzy plant. Anyway, that's what's going on with those. I still haven't cleaned this up because I'm a lazy person who doesn't clean up after himself. Over here we have 3 corns. They are all bolting to nice, beautiful cornflowers, as you can see by this fancy cornflower. It's a very nice flower. I like it a lot. That one got attacked by ground squirrels, but it's still holding on. Shocker. And they still hold on. These things are really, really well built for ground squirrels. Or just squirrels in general. I don't get what is up with corn, but it just is very squirrel resistant. Very squirrel resistant. Over here I decided another experiment. I planted rice. These are little rice doodly-doos with corn. I'll put some rice doodly-doos with the corn. And they're fine. I mean, they're not like out competing each other or like sucking nutrients from each other. They're just kind of existing. First time I ever decided to do a companion planting like this. But yeah, rice, corn, they can go together. Weird. I don't get that. The rice that I planted in the ground with the little Snapple Simply Limeade bottles, it all got eaten. Ground squirrels just dug under the bottles and just straight up sucked them into the dirt like a dang vacuum. That was brutal. They used to be right over there where that patch is. Gone. Oh, gone. It's gone. Makes me sad. In other news, I have potatoes that are growing again. And then this potato patch. These ones are Macao Zets. They're a Pacific Northwest variety. As you can see by the little flowering part right there, that's the Macao Zets. They're starting to like pop off through the little like substrate of soil I put down. I did this on purpose because I'm actually going to try to do a potato tower where as the potatoes come up, I'm just going to keep burying them off. So they have to like be forced all the way up this whole grate right here. And then inevitably I'll just kind of like fill it. That's the wheat from this year. Birds got to the wheat, so I was only able to get like maybe a handful of the wheat before the birds just decided to go ham, buck wild, whatever you want to call it. And they decided, 5-star feast, yum. And then they just attacked the wheat. That was a really, really sad day. First time growing wheat, and also first time just losing like a quarter of it. I got like 5 full things of wheat this year, so I was happy about that. But everything else just destroyed. And then as soon as the wheat died off, the sorghums over here, they just said, hey, check it out. I get to grow now. I don't know what their thought process is. I don't know what sorghum thinks. I am not the sorghum whisperer yet. That's a big time yet. Over on this side, though, I have put in more proso millet. So as you can actually see, there's little green sprouts. Those are from the first yields of proso millet over here. And the proso millet has already started to self-seed at the very bottom. As you can see right there from the little green sprouts that are coming up right there. Let's see if I can focus. Focus. There and there. Those are both proso millets that have decided to volunteer. Very, very happy. As you can see over here with the shattering. Focus. There we go. With the shattering from the wheat, birds got to it and they were like, yum, that is delicious. And then they just decided, that's my food now. Over here on this side, because the other crop just straight up failed that I'd planted over here. I don't even remember what the heck was over on this side. I think this was Malaukia that I tried to plant. Egyptian Malaukia. It did not do too well in the dry. Do not plant Malaukia if it's a very dry area. They will die. I have learned that the hard way. But now I have kabocha squash. So I'm planting squash this year. And then inside this, I have runner beans. So I have a corn, beans, and squash variety going on. That's like a lot of like those little plants that are kind of coming up. The sides right here, that's a runner bean. That's actually Iroquois skunk beans. I want to see how well they did in this menagerie. That, and I also want to add like a nitrogen fixer into the soil so I didn't accidentally deplete the nitrogen super duper fast. But synopsis so far, Amaranth took off like a bottle rocket. It's doing great. The proso millet took off like a bottle rocket. It's doing great. I've already reseeded it. Every single seed has already gone into one of those 3 pots over here. And they're just doing great. I had to mesh this fence because the ground squirrels were able to just poke their happy little booties through this fence with a much, much thicker gauge wire. So I was like, you guys ain't getting none of my food. So I had to rewire everything. That was a nightmare. That was not fun. So yeah, this is my setup so far. Corn doing well. Amaranth doing well. The rice is finally getting attacked. So that was horrible. Mint died. Goodbye, mint. It's too hot, too dry for the mint. And yeah, that's my garden this year. I will keep you updated on when I fill up these buckets with the extra Dobroshkin, the Hayukiak, and then the Lotto. So Hayukiak is supposed to be like a really, really fast growing rice from Japan. It's originally from the Hokkaido region of Japan, which is going to be really kick-ass. I think Banny from the Banny Rolls channel is going to really like that one. So I'm going to be growing actually a Japanese strain of rice. Then the other one is going to be Italiano in the red buckets. It's going to be a Italian Lotto rice variety. And then the rest is just going to be Hayukiak and whatever else I could fit in the buckets. If I have extra seeds, or do you call it seeds? No, patty. It's called patty rice. If I have extra patty rice from the other varieties, I'm just going to throw them in these buckets and then try to get the rice flowers to cross-pollinate so that I can actually get a really cool local strain of rice going. And hopefully sooner or later I will fix the bugs that are in this system over here. I also forgot to mention that the squirrels ate the pearl millet that were actually in the other container, the ones that I wanted to keep as like the insurance policy. Yeah, they're gone. Sad days for those. Sad, sad. And they also ate the sunflowers. They ate the sunflowers, the raspberries. They did not attack the camel creepers, so those are still alive. I'm going to try to reseed raspberries in the winter months. Hopefully they'll take better. But yeah, this is the garden so far. Laters.